The casual ease with which they talk, without carrying the weight of their degrees or designations, puts you at ease too. Presenting to super chill professors from IIT Bombay and MSU Baroda, Dr. Rajesh Patkar and Dr. Priya Jishnu. They're also founder and co-founder of Phymone Biotech Pvt Limited. Apart from other cool stuff, Phymone Biotech plans to make the potatoes in your kitchen more nutritious. The molecule from Phymone Biotech not just increases the volume of potato crop, but doubles the amount of protein in it. Unfortunately, the video quality of this episode has suffered due to a technical issue. Fortunately, the conversation hasn't. In conversation with Dr. Rajesh Patkar and Dr. Priya Jishnu. So I'm thrilled to have you guys again, Dr. Rajesh Patkar and Priya Jishnu ji. And I'm so lucky to have not just one but two interactions before this call. It was so amazing talking to you guys, and you've been so generous sharing all the informations about Phymone Biotech and your personal lives as well. Let's start with what word Phymone means.
Yeah, so basically, Phymone is made up of two words, phyto and hormone. Phyto means something related to plants, and hormone, I'm sure many of us know what hormones are, basically, which are the chemical molecules which are required for developmental aspects. So, since the company is all about application of a plant hormone, we decided to use a part of these two words, phyto and hormone, so that comes together as Phymone. And because biotechnological application is involved, so it's Phymone Biotech Private Limited.
All right.
Yeah.
So, tell us about how you stumbled upon the magic potion or the secret ingredient in the magic potion you guys make, which creates wonder in potatoes.
Okay, so there is an interesting story behind this. So my research area actually involves understanding the interaction or the communication between host and pathogen. And for that, I was working on a plant as a host system and its fungal pathogen as the pathogen, which is an economically important pathogen because it takes away the yield of rice or other important cereal crops every year, which is sufficient to feed 60 million people every year. So it's an economically very important disease that we look at, and we are trying to understand the disease so that we can, help farmers in controlling the disease. So anyway, so while working on this model system, as in how the pathogen tries to make a fool of the host at the time of invasion and all that, I stumbled upon a molecule which is basically a derivative of a plant hormone, and that molecule is used by the fungal pathogen to make the fool of the host at the time of invasion. But then if we look at the flip side of this molecule, the other plants which are not the host of this pathogen, they use this molecule as a trigger for some developmental aspect. For example, if you look at plants like potato, then potato plants would accumulate this molecule in a really large quantity when they are ready to form potato tubers. So when I came to know about this fact during my postdoctoral studies, I asked this question to myself: what would happen if I apply this molecule to potato plants in more quantity? Will they form more potatoes and all that? So with that idea, then I started looking for sources of this molecule, as in whether there was any commercial source available. Luckily or unfortunately, whatever it is, the this molecule is not available commercially. So unfortunate because I didn't get a chance to do the experiment immediately because it was not readily available. But luckily, because that gave us an opportunity to develop our own technology and then start a company eventually. That is where we are currently. So because this molecule was not available then commercially, we decided to develop our own platform or a technology so that we could get more of this molecule and so that we could go ahead with our experiment and all that. So that is where Dr. Priya and I started working together after I moved back from Singapore to India, and we successfully developed this technology, which we also call as a surrogate system, to produce more of this hormone containing formulation, which we now call as magic potion. And then we tested it at both the laboratory or the greenhouse level as well as at the field level. And yeah, we have been lucky that at both the levels we have gotten consistent results. They are highly encouraging results. So what we found is that when we apply this magic potion to potato plants, they not only produce 1.5 to 2 times more tubers, but then the tubers obtained from these plants are nutritious, meaning they would have 1.5 to 2 times more protein content. So that's an interesting angle to it. Yeah, so that's all Phymone Biotech is about.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic, man. Potatoes are known for carbs, right? Carbs,
Right, right.
as in the food part, and having protein in potatoes, it sounds already exciting.
Yeah, definitely. So people like me who are vegetarians, I think that will be a benefit.
Oh, perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. And just like you said the last time, kids, oh God, kids like eat chips
Right.
and fries. So that helps.
Right, right, right.
So, Priyaji, how and when did you collaborate with Rajesh ji in his journey?
I think it was in 17, I think 2017. Actually, I work with this surrogate system which he has mentioned, that is duckweed. So for my postdoctoral work, I was working with this plant system and I optimized the conditions for that, like how to transform this plant to take in a new gene which we wanted to put in. So those processes were optimized during my postdoc work. Then I was looking for different molecules which we can express into that. Initially, during my work, I worked with HIV antigens for diagnostics. But later on, then when Dr. Rajesh moved in and we decided to work together, he came up with this molecule and we were looking for which system we can put in. Then I suggested this and he kind of agreed to that. So from there, the journey started.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. So from what I've learned, you guys are not just working on the plants, but humans as well.
No, not at Phymone Biotech, because I am also a faculty member at IIT Bombay. I have my own research lab here, and in my research lab, we work on again the same. The core area is host pathogen interaction studies, and for that, we have also started working on humans as a host, where we work on the disease called as candidiasis, or in layman terms, what we call as white fungus. You must have heard about it as a secondary complication after COVID. So again, there the idea is same, as in we are trying to understand how do these otherwise friendly organisms which are always present on our bodies turn into a pathogen or a foe when the human immune system is compromised. If we understand it better, hopefully we'll be able to tackle this issue more efficiently or more effectively. That's the idea.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Last time when we talked, you had made an amazing idea of when I asked that how does a host and pathogen interaction behave for like people like us to understand, and you made a wonderful reference of a cartoon thing. Could you just please go ahead and tell us?
Okay, so in simple terms, if you remember the cartoon series Tom and Jerry, the cat Tom there would always want to invade in the dog's territory, and the dog, obviously being more superior, would not allow him to do that. But Tom is also like hell bent on not listening to that. So then one day he decides to wear a mask which would make him look like a dog, and then he is successful in invading the territory of the dog. And then later on, unfortunately, when the mask is gone off, then the dog would obviously recognize him and then would chase him and beat him blue and black. So a similar thing happens with host and pathogen. The pathogens obviously cannot easily invade the host, but then they would apply some strategy to make a fool of the host at the time of penetration. But later on, when the host realizes that I am invaded by a foreign material, then the host would also fight back, and then that's an ongoing war between the two. So every time the pathogen would come up with a new idea, and then the host would also eventually develop with a counter idea, counter idea of that pathogen. So it's an ongoing war between the two. Just like the
Oh,
two neighboring countries like India, Pakistan, we would we would keep gathering arms and ammunitions
all
just
right.
to become superior than the other. So it's an ongoing process.
Okay, so
Yeah.
is there any chance we could determine the end thing, like who wins generally, host or the pathogen? Or it depends on something else?
Yes, so many times there would be other factors as well, environmental conditions or the other related factors, which would decide where the equilibrium would shift. So if it shifts towards the pathogen would have an upper hand. But if the environmental conditions are in host favor, then the host would be able to fight back and would survive the disease. So
Okay.
it depends on many other conditions. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds so exciting. The studies part of it, I would love to know what happens next. It's like a movie thing that goes on. Okay. Um. So, just like we talked, that you start with experiments at the lab and then go out to field. Can you just explain the process of how it works?
To be a scientist, what you need is just a curious mind. So you just need to make observations of things around you, and with some interesting observation you could come up with an interesting question, as in why or how, when, what. So these kind of questions would come to your mind if you are, a science oriented person or a curiosity oriented person. Then comes thirst to address your questions, your interest in addressing your own queries or question. And then would come your training or knowledge about how to go about addressing your questions out of curiosity, where the experimental design and all those things would come. So like I said, when I was doing my postdoctoral studies, I stumbled upon this molecule which has a different role when it comes to host pathogen interaction, but has a totally different role when it comes to just the plant developmental aspect. So when I came to know about that from the literature, I asked a simple question to myself: what if I apply more of it to the plant? Will it produce more? That was a simple question that I asked, and to satisfy that curiosity, then I decided to develop a system where I could get more of this molecule and then do the experiment myself. So that's how usually we go about satisfying our own curiosities and queries. And once we are successful at the laboratory level, then of course we have to, if it is a clinical problem, as in if it is a medical problem, then yes, we have to go for clinical trials. If it is agriculture related problem, then we have to go for field trials. So both clinical trials and field trials are almost equivalent, which are very time consuming, and they need to be done in a very meticulous way. It requires a lot of patience and a lot of time. Yes.
Yes, oh God, I've heard about all the crazy things that happens, like external factors like monkeys affecting the crops. How crazy is that? So Priyaji, how do you deal with it? You wake up every day and you don't know what's going to happen. If it's going to work, not work. So you have faith in yourself or universe, or how does that work?
Yeah, for the field, like we don't have any control. Like we have to call up the station and find out how things are going on, and we kept lot of trust in the people who are involved in there, and they were taking care of things. And of course, like luck factor is there. So in one of the field trial, there was no issue at all. Like the second field trial, there was rain, unseasonal rain, then some infestation. So all those things were there. So that is like it's beyond our control. So some amount of luck factor or universal control, whatever it is there. So we like field trials, of course, like, we can't do much on that. Like we have to keep trust on the farmer or the agency whom with which we are collaborating, and go ahead. That is it.
Yeah, we do two things. We
Mhm.
trust in people working with us, and we keep our fingers crossed.
That's so true, right? Oh God. But I think that's what it makes it so exciting that you don't know if it's going to work or not. I mean, it works in theory,
Yeah,
but practical.
yeah. That waiting period is like yeah, there is a waiting period. Like for potato, like we are going for our next trial in on 21st. We are going for our next trial. It's already on the field. It is started. Like the spraying and all those things are going to start on 21st. So then the waiting period is there. Like we have to wait for the feedback. If there is if some rain happens in Baroda, then we have to call up and find out whether it is raining over there and whether there is any infestation, how the growth is there, whether flowering happened at a proper time. All those things, like it's all depends upon how things are working there.
Oh, wow. Oh, man, I can't even imagine the nervousness you would have because, again, you don't stay in Baroda. You stay in Bombay.
Yeah.
You stay in Baroda, of course, right, Priyaji?
Yeah, I'm staying in Baroda, but the field is in Prantij, no? So it is towards Himmatnagar.
Yeah.
The place is at
Yeah.
Prantij. It is a center of excellence
It is about
for
180
horticulture.
kilometers from Baroda.
Okay, okay. So every time, as in a proper interval thing, you have to go and visit the place and all, is it?
Yes. Yeah.
So during this journey, at what point did you guys get in touch with STBI?
Very soon after we developed the technology. So I think it was sometime in early 2018 when we were ready with our surrogate system.
Mhm.
So the next requirement was to grow it at a large scale so that we could get that magic molecule in sufficient quantity for our greenhouse and field trial studies. So that is where we gotten in touch with the director of STBI, Dr. Anand Bhadarkar, and he readily showed interest in helping us by accommodating our requirement, and he immediately made that plant tissue culture laboratory available to us. Luckily, it was not occupied by any other incubator. So again, we were lucky there. So luck,
Okay.
luck factor plays an important role.
All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how did you know STBI? How did you get to know about STBI?
Uh, this is the time when even I was there in MS University of Baroda. So
Okay.
me and Dr. Priya, we were working together at MS University. And STBI is just 15, 17 kilometers away from MSU. It's just in the outskirts of Baroda. And that was the time when this applied research was becoming a big kind of hot field, or there was a big interest from the government also. So we were also kind of getting acquainted with the applied research and what are the facilities available, etc., etc. And then again, coincidentally, Dr. Anand Bhadarkar, who is also the director of STBI, is my senior colleague from MS University. So we
Oh,
had an overlap during our PhD days. So since then we knew each other. So that
okay.
was also the reason why we knew about STBI.
All
Yeah.
right. And how was your experience with it?
It has been fantastic. We are still associated with STBI, and even today, for large scale production of that molecule, we still depend on STBI, and it's a wonderful facility. They have always helped us with all sort of issues, problems, and yeah, fantastic support.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And from what I've learned, it's an expensive affair because anything could fail anytime, and then money, of course, is involved, a lot of it. So, how do you get your funding?
Okay, yeah, so that's a very important part of studies, especially in biological research. Uh, so again, I would say we were lucky there because we got funding support from different funding agencies from time to time. So when we started in 2017, it was the GSFC Science Foundation, which is again Baroda based science foundation, and they gave us the first funding support which was required to explore the idea. After that, it was the DSIR, the Government of India body, Department of Science and Industrial Research. They gave us the next funding support. With that, we could do the field trial studies, and with that successful field trial results, we could get the latest funding support from another body of Government of India, that is Department of Biotechnology, and this is a big funding support now. So this is going to help us in moving one step closer towards commercialization. So that's going to be a big help.
Coming to that, you guys just had Vibrant Gujarat pre summit, right? How was the experience there?
Yeah, it was a wonderful experience. So we had one stall there, exhibition stall, and the whole day there were visitors right from the college students to senior citizens, and from different areas, like for example students as well as the investors or those who were interested in developing technologies or those who were interested in clubbing the technologies, etc. So we had a wonderful set of visitors, and most of them showed interest in our technology. So a couple of them were interested in collaborating, couple of them showed interest in investment. So they were wondering whether we were ready for commercialization. So we had to tell them that no, we are not yet ready. They will have to wait for another 1 year or so, because we would like to convince ourselves completely, and only then we would step into the business part of it. So
All right.
yeah.
So, apart from the magic potion that we talked about, what are the plans in future? Like, what do you guys want to do with Phymone Biotech? Some exciting stuff coming up ahead.
Yes, yes. So we definitely would want to start on our own initially, of course. And it's this is kind of a venture where we alone will not be able to do it. So we will
Mhm.
need partners, business partners, admin partners, financial support, etc., etc. So yeah, definitely we aim to have a good team initially, and once it takes off nicely, then again, depending upon the need of the hour, we would either license it out or uh, sell it off to a big player, or let's see,
Oh,
we don't know what is lying there in the
okay.
future. If everything goes very smoothly, or as per the plan, then we might continue ourselves. So we have kept basically all the options open as of now.
Perfect, perfect. So when I see both of you, you guys are so headstrong, so clear. It's amazing to have that kind of clarity of mind. And you guys are what do you call, very chilled out about everything, no load, no pressure, no stress. But again, when it comes to interaction between two such headstrong people, I don't know how it is. So how is it? Did you guys have any disagreement over something, and if at all you did, how did you deal with it?
I don't remember any such big issue. Small, like very tiny differences of opinions probably would have been there. But then, yeah, major, I don't remember any of such. I don't know if Dr. Priya remembers any. Yeah,
Hmm.
so
No disagreement as such, like especially like when we plan some experiment, no, like always we'll come up with ideas and we were open to each other, and that way, like I have a lot of trust in Dr. Rajesh, his experience and all, and I'm sure that whenever he comes up with something, he did lot of homework. He will have much clarity in. So I have that trust in him. So that way there was no issue at all. Like, and he's
Nice.
open to discussions and taking in ideas also.
Perfect. See, that's what I'm saying. It's amazing to have that kind of understanding. And just because you guys have great thought process, it's easier. Life is easier if you're like that. Um, so going from Feynman Biotech to time before Feynman Biotech, what were you guys doing before this happened?
okay, so this interest of host pathogen interaction studies was there right from my graduation days,
Hmm.
undergrad days. So I decided to work in a similar area for my PhD. So I got an opportunity to work on the plant system, again at MS University of Baroda. It was with Professor Bharat Chattu, who is a big name in Indian science community. Unfortunately, he is no more. He is not there with us today, but yeah, he is still there. I mean, his name is still there. So I was lucky to be able to do a PhD with a person like him. So I learned a lot from there, and then I went on to do my postdoctoral studies in the pathogen area. So for my PhD, I worked on the plant host, but for my postdoctoral studies, I decided to work on the pathogen side. And for that, I went on to work in Professor Naveed Naqvi's lab at Temasek Life Sciences Laboratory, which is affiliated to National University of Singapore. So I was there for 10 years. I enjoyed my 10 years of postdoctoral research studies. While I wanted to continue with him as a postdoc, I once frankly mentioned to him that I'll be happy working with you whole of my life. He said, "No, you are good
Wow.
for research. You should have your own lab." So he pushed me out from there. So with that confidence, then I moved back to India, and I was awarded with this prestigious Ramalinga Swamy Fellowship from Department of Biotechnology, Government of India. So I started my lab with that. Then again, we were lucky. We got some interesting results. We could publish our scientific findings. With that, then I got another big grant from again Department of Biotechnology and Wellcome Trust UK in combination, a big grant for again scientific research on the clinical problem. And then I also got a job offer, faculty position in IIT Bombay. So then with that, then I moved back from MS University to Mumbai in Jan 2021. Since then I'm here, but it's good that Priya and I could develop that technology while I was there at MS University from 2016 to 2020. Yeah, and it's good that we have continued to work together, and we are seeing this technology taking a good shape.
Oh, fantastic. Priyaji, how about your journey before Phymone Biotech?
So from my school days, like I was interested in science. Then after my graduation and after post graduation, there was a dissertation project. So that was in microbiology. That is to solve the issue associated with a refinery. So from there, my research career started, and I realized that I have some interest in research, but I was a gold medalist from my master's, and I got a campus placement. So I was working in an industry in their R&D division. From there, they had sent me to US for training for a month. Then I had to come back and set up a lab. All those happened. Then by the time I got married and I moved to Chennai, so I had to leave my job and I moved to Chennai. Then there, I was fortunate to work with Professor Swaminathan, late Professor Swaminathan, legend, father of Green Revolution. There, I started working again with the plant system. But I don't know whether that was my interest at that point of time, because my always my interest was in enzyme related work or microbiology and enzyme related work. But the project which was assigned to me was that on plant system. But there the condition was that you have to register for PhD immediately. But at that time, my husband moved to US for a short tenure. Then we were debating ourselves like whether to shift to US or be in India. So I couldn't register for PhD at that time. So then, then at that time, I got a permanent job with an industrial R&D. Again, that was with the enzyme system, which is my interest of research. So I joined there. Then I worked there, and I was enjoying my permanent job there. And at that time, my husband got a better opportunity in Pune. So we left from Chennai to Pune. So at that time, my son was born, and I took a break. Then again, I joined back in NCL Pune to start my research career. From there, I applied for this women scientist program, which is by DST, Department of Science and Technology. Then I got awarded that. At that time, again, he got a better opportunity in Baroda, so he decided to move from Pune to Baroda.
Whoa.
Then luckily, I got transferred. I got this project transferred to MSU. Then I joined for PhD here with this my own project and the grant. I joined for PhD. I completed my PhD from MSU University. Then after completing my PhD, I got this Department of Biotechnologies Research Associate grant under late Professor Chattu, so who was apparently Dr. Rajesh's PhD guide. So there again I get back into the plant system. So there I worked on this surrogate system, and later on, like, journey continues, and then I joined as a faculty in MSU, and at the moment, like, I'm not doing much of research, more into academics. But this part is there, like whatever we are doing for 5 months is going on. Like, I had an opportunity to visit the Weizmann Institute in Israel. So that also because of the association Professor Chattu had with that institute, Weizmann Institute of Israel. Like, again, to work with the same system, that the surrogate system which we have optimized for Phymone, like which we are going to use in Phymone. So that way, I was so lucky to be part of the MSU, and this Professor Chattu's association was very lucky to me that way. So even the common factor between both of us was that, like, between Dr. Rajesh and me, like, he got trained, he got a rigorous training under Professor Chattu, and I had a short span of training with Professor Chattu. Luckily, like, but his untimely demise, we couldn't continue our research under him for a longer duration.
Okay. So, Priyaji, it's a personal question. Because your husband had to move places, you also had to tag along. How do you feel about it?
No, it was my own decision, so I don't have any problem with that way. Like, but he was very supportive, and wherever like he could able to support me, like he was supportive to me. So that was not an issue for me.
All right. So that brings me to my next question. You guys have a stable job. You guys are teaching into academics and all, and then you have your own research work. How do you balance it out?
Not an easy job. It is definitely taking a toll, sometimes towards family time, social life, sometimes amount of sleep, etc., sometimes the weekends. So there are different types of tolls that we have to pay while
Okay.
we try to strike a balance.
Love how you put it. Tolls to pay. Wonderful.
Yeah, but yeah, we have been able to manage that so far. Hopefully we'll be able to do that even in the future.
Is it worth it?
I think so, yeah.
Sacrificing so much.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a sacrifice. Yeah, some little bit of adjustment here and there. And
Wow.
again, like Priya said, my family is also very, very supportive. My wife is very supportive of what I'm doing currently. Yeah,
Okay.
not just my wife's parents are also highly supportive.
Wow.
Yeah, more than the sacrifice, no, like it is especially certain things are your passion. So you may not feel that. Of course, like as Dr. Rajesh was mentioning, it is having toll on your life at some point of time. But at the same time, though, the reward we are going to get, which or the happiness we are going to gain from that, no, which cannot be get from. It is very difficult to get that kind of happiness from anywhere else. So once you get some result after so much of struggle, so all those are
So
like,
true.
so that is a real reward.
Very true. Oh God. No, but I was saying that when you have something that you love doing, it doesn't feel like a chore or a work or, it's easier. Things get easier like that. Ah,
Yeah.
so this is why I do this. I love talking, no man, and I love listening to the story. They're so rich, so much to learn from. And oh god, I was actually very disappointed when the last episode did not work out because of the background noise and all that. I felt so bad because interaction was amazing. We had some very organic conversations. They were so interesting, and whatever I do, there are some repeat questions here. So the reactions will not be the same, but I'm glad this happened. I'm getting to know more about you guys. All
Hopefully
right.
it goes well this time.
Yes, I'm sure. You guys are rock stars.
Yeah,
So,
actually, it was wondering like the
yes.
last time we had that spontaneity, So it was this time like we were in between, like when we met, when we called each other, like we were discussing. Like last time, we were not aware what you're going to ask. This time we had bit of clue, like what kind of questions you are going to put for. So how it is going to be like. So last time it was very spontaneous. Both of us, our reactions were very
Yes.
spontaneous.
Very true. And I love that. I love the rawness of it. But this is great as well. I'm getting to know more information about things. I mean, the history. You guys are very prepared. So, yes. Okay. So, moving on, I believe that if people have happy childhood, they turn into happy adults. Um, or again, it can go both ways. They can get used to happiness being spoiled and they wouldn't put in efforts. They have tough childhood, they would put in effort to get better. So there are always two ways about it, but trying to know your childhood, how was it?
Yeah, those were the definitely the best days,
Uh-huh.
no doubt about that. And yeah, I was a happy kid. I'm
Hmm.
happy even today.
Perfect. Happiness is within, it's a decision, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And schooling, were you average student, above average, topper? How was it?
Yeah, I was a topper all 10 years of my school. I was
Ooh,
very studious, but I was not boring because I used to take part in sports and all, everything. I have done everything. I took part in dance, other cultural activities. Everything.
really?
I have done all that.
So
Yes.
you would study all year round, or how was it? Like study a lot?
Not a lot, but
Okay.
consistently. Yeah.
Okay, so you are the
Yeah.
student we hate that, makes exam halls and creates wonders. All right. And how about you, ma'am?
So I was just an above average student.
Okay.
I'm very regular with my homeworks and test papers. Otherwise, I focus more on the studies towards the exam. But my mother was a teacher, so she was a bit strict. So I have to be very regular with my studies. Otherwise,
Okay. All right. So, from what I remember, you both had your own love at first sight or meet cute actually with science at very initial stage of your life, which actually made you go towards it. Can you tell us about the incidents?
Yeah, for me, it was the second year of my bachelor's when one of our teachers took us for the open day exhibition at Cancer Research Institute in Mumbai. And just outside the institute, they had placed one stall where they had interesting books. One of the books had cartoons depicting the human immune system and all that. So it made it so easy for me to understand how our immune system works and all that. So that, I think, that was the time when I genuinely developed interest in learning more about it. And since then, I have been, interested in understanding this host pathogen interaction. And I'm happy that I pursued my interest in this area.
All right. And ma'am?
so for me, so I was last time I was thinking like when you asked, no, I don't know. Then only I realized that I forgot to mention my dad used to buy a lot of science related books to me. So I used to read that.
Mhm.
And once when I was in seventh standard, there was a unannounced quiz competition for school, all the seventh grade
Mhm.
students. So we all went for that, and when they announced the result, I came the topper in that. So I was not prepared. No one was prepared for that. Even if that was a surprise to me. So then I started realizing, okay, I like to do some read science books and also that realized me that okay, I can get into science. Then before that, like when I was in my fourth grade, I think last time also I mentioned like one of my teacher asked me to do something for science exhibition. So I collected many leaves and I made a leaf album. That was my first step into science. Then, of course, the research interest happened to me only after my master's dissertation work, and that I was into that research, or I was very curious to know the result and all those things. So, my proper research aptitude happened during my master's.
All right. And you're still on. You guys are still in love with science and you get up and do it every single day. That's lovely. Yes, last time I said it was my favorite question, and we're coming to that. If at all a film were to be made on Phymone Biotech, what would the name be? I've changed it. What would the name be? Just like Nambi Effect or Mission Mangal, if a film were to be made on Phymone Biotech.
Yeah, I think Mission Mangal resembles a lot. Resembles in the sense, yeah, because even there a lot of research and uh, lot of thought process was involved in designing the satellite and launching, etc., etc., with minimal budget.
Of
So
course, of course.
we do quite similar things.
No,
Yeah.
I was telling that this even we have some dream I don't know, both of us forgot to mention this. So we want to do something for the
Uh-huh.
space station also for the aeronauts and the spacecraft people helping them to grow potatoes in the space station using our molecule. So in Dr. Rajesh lab, he started some work towards that. So when you told about Mission Mangal only, it
Hmm.
Wow.
struck to me.
Oh, space
Yeah.
potatoes.
So we all
Nice.
used to
Yeah,
discuss
yeah.
this.
So we kind of conducted one dummy experiment where we created space-like conditions in our laboratory. Not exactly space-like conditions, but soil-free system, assuming that this is how astronauts would grow potato plants on a space station, etc. and we tested our technology with that, and yeah, we got the same results with that as well.
Oh,
So we believe that our technology will be useful for astronauts as well.
that is so cool. Actually, talking about that, we mentioned, as in, we talked about aeroponics last time.
Yes, yes.
So
Yeah.
please explain what is that exactly? Because we've heard of hydroponics. How does aeroponics work?
Yeah, so aeroponics and hydroponics are similar in the sense that both the methods do not require soil. In fact, we do not use soil for that matter. So in hydroponics, it is the nutrient provided in the aqueous or the solution form, which is always present in a chamber where you are growing your plants in. And in aeroponics, there is no constant liquid being present in that chamber. Rather, you would have sprinklers at the bottom of the chamber, and the sprinklers would spray the nutrient solution onto the root surface, and that is where they take up the nutrient from. So that's aeroponics. And for plants like potatoes, aeroponics is more suitable than the hydroponics setup, because for plant it would be more good to develop the tubers into air rather than in a liquid solution.
Okay.
So aeroponics would definitely be better than hydroponics.
So currently in the field, have you been using aeroponics, or for now it's just a traditional soil?
No, in fields it is the traditional soil. For aeroponics, we will have to do it in a closed, like closed facility, like a
Oh,
laboratory or a kind of a containment facility.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
because
Oh
it would
my,
require more of a automated process. It would require pumps and all the network of pipes and reservoir of nutrient, etc., etc. Cleaning system. Yeah.
um, who do you think will play Rajesh Patkar ji, and who do you think will play Priya ji in the movie?
Yeah, I'm sticking on with Amir Khan. Like Amir Khan is going to play
Amir
Rajesh.
Khan.
So
Oh, okay, okay, just like that perfectionist answer.
yeah, that.
Yeah, this time I would say it better. I would
Huh.
say Vidya Balan of Mission Mangal, while
Oh,
taking care of all the family things and striking a balance between
wow.
the family life and the research part of it, and then coming up with interesting and practical suggestions from time to time. So I would say that will be a perfect character.
Wonderful.
So actually, yeah, Priya has come up with interesting solutions whenever we had, troubles or issues. So she has come up with nice solutions.
All
Just,
right.
just like Vidya Balan coming up with that Puri wala idea in Mission Mangal.
Oh, yes, coming back, which would be your favorite moment if a movie were to be made on Phymone Biotech?
For
Yeah,
me, the greenhouse result,
yeah,
the
yeah.
first tuber which we got from aeroponic setup, that is the most cherished moment for me for Phymone Biotech.
Oh man, tears in
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God, baby potatoes. That's so cool. Tell us more about it. How was the experience?
Yeah, so when the harvester started running, we didn't have any clue how the results would be. So first it ran through the control plot, control as in the one which did not receive the treatment. So we started seeing the potato tubers, coming up to the earth surface and all that. So we were like, okay. Then the next one was the treated one, and we were very anxious as in what the outcome would be. But then the moment the harvester finished harvesting tubers from that treated plot, there itself we could see a visible difference between the tuber quality of the control plot and the tubers from the treated plot. And we could see that there was definitely some encouraging result. So
Oh,
right then visibly we could see a difference, and then later on we did all the other characterization part like weighing them, etc., etc., and then the results were clear that yes, our technology had worked, and that was the moment of joy.
wow. Wow. May I know how many days or months or years had passed between the moment when you realized that this can be a possibility to actual result, seeing the result in the field?
I think the first greenhouse studies were done in 2018 and 19, and then the first field trial results we got in 2021. 22 March was the first interesting results. So it took some 2 3 years for us to
2 3
actually, yeah.
years. So 2 3 years of patience, hard work, and waiting. Oh man, waiting would have been.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Though we know that we are getting the result in the greenhouse and the first field trial, still like we want to make sure that like it is reproducible, and we were trying to make ourselves believe that okay, it is happening. That is what we were waiting for. That I still remember the moments like before the harvest, whenever we go to the field, that is especially after the first field trial, we were waiting for the harvest to start because all these tractors should come for the harvest. So we were moving around the field which is marked as treated and the one which is marked as controlled. We started digging out and looking for the potatoes, and I we will start counting like this is having five, others is having four tubers. So of course ours is good. So because we were
Oh,
making sure that okay, it is working, and then again we started relating with our greenhouse, okay, how we were looking into the greenhouse, and if and even if we see some curling on the roots also, we'll think okay, tubers have started forming. So all those are the moments like I feel they are the moments of confidence.
you
But
live
again
for.
I don't know, like yeah, we are living through those, we live through those moments, and those were the moments of confidence. But still we wanted to make sure that our technology is foolproof, so that is why we waited for
Okay.
this to happen. Like,
Ah, like I said, the waiting part for 1 or 2 years to see if the actually thing worked. That's amazing. Okay, tell me, what is your dream goal or whatever you call it for Phymone Biotech?
I'll be very happy to see farmers happy with our product. If I see a smile on farmer's face after using our product, I think that will be the biggest reward. So for me, I think that would be a dream with
Wow.
Payman Biotech. Yeah.
Wow. So this takes me back to our first conversation when you said that I came to India not because of patriotism, but from my family. And look at you ending up doing a lot of things for the country. As in, again, you both are teaching kids, which is great, working at grassroots level to make India better eventually. That's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Ma'am, how
Thank you.
about
Thank you
you?
so much.
What would be your dream for Feynman Biotech?
be honest, like I think like if we see our product in the market, so since we got a lot of response during this pre-submit, and we should come up with a product which is as we are expecting, and we see finally the product from Phymone brand in the market is the moment I am looking for.
Ah, wonderful. And I'll take a step back and ask you a funny question. If you had to pick between teaching or academics or research, what would it be for both of you?
For me, research.
You're putting me in a difficult situation.
Yes, I love
If I
doing
had
that. Oh, awesome. How about you,
Yeah,
sir?
I would like to definitely do more of research, but then honestly speaking, I have also started developing interest in teaching. I have started
Teach.
liking teaching, definitely.
Wonderful,
But
wonderful.
still, I
Validates
would
it out.
say little bit more of research.
Okay, of course, I could make it out. All right. And final, I won't pester you after this for sure, but finally, what would be your message for the budding entrepreneurs? Because I'm sure a lot of people are trying to get into it, have their own thing, ditch their 9 to 5, and then go for 24 by 7 dream project that they're working on. So, what do you think? What they should be doing?
I would say like the same like the last time, that believe in yourself and don't get discouraged by those intermittent failures. So be confident, believe in yourself, and just move on. Things will work.
hard work, patience, and perseverance. So
Awesome.
this is
Just
required. Like
bash on regardless.
I had a total blast and I hope you did too. Did you notice how gradually these fountainheads are ushering in a brand new world with their hard work and innovation? We'll keep coming up with more such wonderful stories of the change makers, so please keep showering your love on Fountainhead with Chandni.
Let's make the real heroes famous.